So we got Fidelity, almost 300 grand in Fidelity. And I looked through that, by the way. $500,000 in Fidelity?
Well, 475.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So this was end of last month. This was the last time I did a net worth checkup.
Congratulations. And they're reasonable investments, I saw. Like, it wasn't anything crazy. It's just like the S&P, a good globally diversified fund. I can't fault you on that. See, I think that's a good use of cash long term. Over the next 30 years, I could see you doing quite well on that. And just dollar cost averaging, regardless, just don't pay attention. Just don't look at it for 30 years, I think is good.
I do 70% S&P, 30% NASDAQ. That's my current go.
What about international? Have you thought about doing any international?
Just every time I look at any funds related to it, it's just their historic returns are just
they're bad.
Yeah. But I know. I know.
So what I've seen with international so far, and I've just done, the basic of research is that it's very cyclical, and that the international is good for balancing out your portfolio, so that when the U.S. is not doing so well, the international is probably buffering that a bit. So you're not going to see the high highs, but you're not going to see quite the low lows.
Right.
Yes, it's underperformed, but it's been pretty stable, even though it hasn't gone up a ton. So I know it's tough to look back last, 10 years and see, it's only made 4%, but the S&P is up 70%.
Right.
I know that's tough.
Yeah.
But you also have to consider the dividends are a little bit higher in that. And it's been pretty stable. And you never know what might happen. So I think a small allocation of that, not investment advice. But it's just something to consider. It's interesting, though. It's good you're trying out a whole bunch of different platforms here. I like Acorns a lot.
Acorns is great.
Yeah, I've been using them for years.
Yeah, link in the description below. Get your free $5.
Yeah, they're good. Moomoo, $5,000 in Moomoo. What do you think of them?
So Moomoo's really good. So I do a little bit of single stock type stuff in Robinhood, and I'm considering switching over to Moomoo. And we're talking partnership with them right now, but I don't do any partnerships until I can fully test it out. Yeah. And what I'm getting from them versus Robinhood is just a more developed platform for individual stocks, and I'm really liking it. There's a lot more research I need to do before fully switching over to them, but I threw $5,000 in there and give it a test. All I did was buy some QQQ.
Cool.
So, but no, pretty cool.
And what do you think between Moomoo and Webull?
I've never used Webull.
Have you really?
No.
They're like the OGs.
Yeah. No.
Really? Okay.
For single stocks, I've just been Robinhood.
Interesting. Try Webull.
Okay.
Give that a shot just to test it out. Webull's pretty advanced with a lot of the things that they offer, but this might be worth it. I like to try every platform I can.
Yeah.
And just to give it a shot, see what you think of it. And then that way, if someone ever asks, hey, what do you think of this platform? You've tried it out. True. You've used it. So student loans, $37,313.
Yes,
is that deferred?
Deferred until right now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It just started again.
What's the plan on that?
Well, they're at 4%. So minimum monthly payments till they're paid off. I feel like it's not a waste, but kind of $37,000 to just throw it at it if I'm going to get average 10 point whatever with dividends reinvested in the S&P 500 on average. So it's just like the check that comes in this month, I could wipe that, but I also would rather just throw it to S&P 500.
Is that tax deductible, the interest on that?
Depends on your income levels.
So I'm guessing for you, it's not.
Honestly, when I was making
$100,000,
$100,000, it wasn't. So
listen, I know on a rental property, you're going to arbitrage the difference, but wouldn't this be nice just to wipe out? Because you're making
it would be, but
4.5% on SoFi. After tax, you're taking home, let's just call it 3 something.
The stuff that's in
but then you're paying
SoFi,
4 on student loans.
The stuff in SoFi, it's not necessarily in there to make 4.5%.
I know.
It's
so you're looking for an
taxes.
opportunity.
It's in there for taxes.
Oh.
I got to pay those taxes. And it's not enough.
Are you doing quarterly tax payments?
No, annual. This is the last year I can do it without a penalty, or because it's my first full year.
Yeah.
And then next year, I'm trying to. Well, you actually had a really interesting. I don't remember where I heard it, but I remember you at one point saying you did annual because whatever negative penalties you get, you're making up for via the money that you're putting it in and letting it grow.
Not anymore.
Not anymore?
Not anymore. So that was a thing in the past when the market was doing as well as it was.
Yeah. This year's been great, though.
Yes, but also the penalty back then was not as much as it is now.
Oh.
So the interest rates have gone up.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, so the amounts that you owe, I think it used to be like 2 to 3%, and now I think don't quote me on this. I think it's like 5 or 6%.
I thought it was
So it's-
around 3. Okay, wow, kill me.